are an important space for reconciliation and decolonization. Um, One great thing with Jane's Walk is we're going to bring people into the environment, so it's a great opportunity to start introducing people to the spaces around them. And city builders can play a key role on questioning and unlearning colonial structures, fostering long-term relationship building and creating space for learning and healing processes and sharing space with those whose traditional territory was the land that we are standing on today. Decolonization requires us to observe structures of power, critique and redistribute power whenever we can, and it requires active listening to unique needs, experiences, and the priorities of the Indigenous people of all areas. This one's specifically more for Toronto and Turtle Island. Um, One thing too with Jane's Walk is it's a great way to be able to start advocating for different people in the area and start some of these conversations and look at ways that we're able to do some of these things to help others redistribute power and also give people an opportunity to understand better how we could be taking care of this environment so that it's here for many years beyond. And with that, just to let everyone know, the meeting is going to be recorded today. It started just as I started the land acknowledgement. Our agenda for today is we have welcome, just a little icebreaker, and then looking forward to having people share about their festival, and we have some of our steering committee members from Jane's Walk org, and we'll look forward to hearing some of their updates, and there will be an opportunity for everyone to ask questions, and then we will have a roundtable discussion so that we can share different ideas with you and look forward to having ideas shared from everyone participating, and then we can have a great conversation, and then we will close it out. So, is there any questions before we move on? No? Okay, fabulous. I will give Adam the floor to introduce himself.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Adam. Everyone can hear me all right? Think so. Sweet. So yeah, I'm from the Calgary Jane's Walk Festival. Been leading this edition of the festival for about 3 years, and born and raised in Calgary. And then I'll maybe pass it back to Chrissy to just give a quick introduction of themselves as well.
Yep, so my name's Chrissy. I'm in Hamilton, Ontario. So I'm one of the coordinators for the Jane's Walk in Hamilton. And I Harold from Calgary, but
Hmm.
I reside in Hamilton.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you. So yeah, we'll be wandering through this call together and kind of leading the way a little bit. One of the first things I wanted to do was actually I'm going to switch screens quickly here and we're going to test out this little system called menti.com. So you can either enter on your phone or on your computer www.menti.com or just scan the QR code with your phone, and then you can it'll ask you to enter a code here, and it should be leading you to uh, our Mentimeter, where we're just going to try and gather some information about each other's festivals and go from there. So I'll give people a few seconds here to join. It looks like people are slowly making their way in. And first test here is a bit of a test of geography because the city names actually aren't on this map, but you can pinpoint where you are coming from today. So just using the little pin on your screen, you can try your best to drop where we're all coming in from today and submit from there. I'm gonna wait till we get close to 10 responses before moving on. If you are struggling, let me know. I know sometimes it cannot be the most user friendly to have two devices going at once. And then if you're just joining in, if there's anyone joining in later, there's the QR code on the side there as well. So we are, looks like coming in from mostly three provinces. Oh, maybe one more popping in here. So we're coming from BC, Alberta, Ontario, and I'm not sure if I saw one little one from Quebec there or not. Is someone here from coming from Montreal or Quebec?
It's me, Quebec.
Okay, sweet. Oh yeah, there you go. A little, there you go. The drawn circle. Sweet. Awesome. Thank you. And we'll move on to our next one. Just a question asking if your Janes Walk Festival is led by a nonprofit, a volunteer committee, a municipality, or other. Sweet. So pretty good mix there in terms of nonprofits, volunteers, committee, and whoever. If you selected other, would you like to expand on that? Oh, I think Marilyn, we can't hear you. Not quite able to hear you yet. Feel free to drop a note in the chat. Maybe as we're doing that, we can jump on to our next question here. So just a question of how many walks do you expect your festival to have this year? And I also acknowledge that maybe our stats are slightly skewed because we might have a few people joining from each walk, but feel free to just enter them. Um, and we'll go from there. So this could be based on last year's numbers or uh, kind of predictions for this year. Um, yeah, 25 in the Waterloo region. In Calgary, we did hit the 75 number last year, which was super exciting. And then we've got a few with kind of the 1 to 10 range as well. No, good to get an idea of where everyone's at. And then based on that as well, do you have an idea on number of participants you expect your festival to have based on those number of walks? Sweet. So a few in the 2000 plus, a couple down in the 50 plus range, which is sweet. And maybe we can chat about, I'm always interested to hear how people, the best practices for how to kind of track how many people are actually coming out. Um, so that's something we could chat about maybe in the round table later, is how to best get an idea of those estimate numbers. Moving along quick here. This is kind of a word cloud exercise. So in terms of some of the themes that come out of your festival or some of the walks, what are some of those themes that come out of your walks? And we'll see as they gather here what comes up. Nice. A lot of history, a lot of public art, advocacy, housing, urban planning, identity, bridging communities, parks and public spaces, elderly care, identity development. Yeah, these are sweet. Awesome. And I'm just going to jump to I think I've got one more here potentially. Um, this could be just a quick note, and feel free to unmute if you have anything that comes to mind specifically, but we could all take a quick moment to write down just a short excerpt of what impact has Jane's Walk had in your community during or after your festival? Did any new conversations, collaborations, or projects arise? So is there anything that beyond the festival, uh, you know, or I guess during as well is the question, is there any kind of stories or partnerships that come to mind there? So I'll just give everyone 15, 30 seconds to drop some quick notes in there. It brings in the history buffs. It sparks new partnerships, neighbors meeting neighbors, allows people to meet, cross-pollination of people and groups who are able to work together. Folks who commonly don't engage have conversations and meet folks from different walks of life. Walking tour collaborations all summer. So yeah, lots more opportunities beyond the first weekend of May. People had opportunities to speak with the general manager of planning about projects in the city. Energizes community. Unheard voices are more so heard and have a platform. Meeting the neighborhood dogs is a great one. I've always wanted someone to lead a cat walk in my neighborhood to find all the cats that are in the windows around Crescent Heights. Yeah, more youth engagement is sweet. Awesome. Nice. So that was just a good exercise to get us going, get us kind of understanding the range of our festivals and all the great things that they do. So I am going to stop sharing. I'm going to go back to our slideshow here. And I'm just going to pass it along to our steering committee for some updates. And feel free to let me know when to move the slides along, but I'll pass it over to you folks.
You want me to get it going, Claire?
Yeah, sure. Please
Yeah,
go ahead.
awesome.
Yes.
Okay, I'm Cassandra. For those maybe who I haven't met, I'm one of the co-chairs for Jane's Walk. And as you see, this is our lovely steering committee. There's about 10 of us, not all actually, some and most located in Toronto, but we also have some representation in the UK, in Portugal, and as well as in Ottawa. And so we're really excited just to have an opportunity to chat with everybody. If they have any questions about any needs that they have this year, anything that's happening in Toronto that we could share. We're here kind of to go through that with you today and provide any other updates and answer any other questions. And I guess I'll pass it to Claire if there's anything else you wanted to highlight.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Cass. Hi, everyone. I'm Claire Wong. I'm also the steering committee member, and I'm based in Toronto. I'm really excited for this Canada-wide call to happen this year, and we are also looking to have more, national calls and also calls in the other regions in the future. I've been mostly working on the global connection part from the Jane's Walk steering committee. So hope we can get more connections in the future, and this type of call can be kind of held, I guess, frequently, maybe once a year or even twice a year. So I would say we are also joined by another steering committee member, Adam Colhoun, who's also on the call. And thanks for joining the call, Adam. So maybe we can go to the next slide. We want to provide some updates from the steering committee. So first is about our global website. If you're here for last year's call, the global committee is actually working on uploading all the cities onto our global website. And finally, we managed to upload all those cities to the website by last year. So the website have been updated, and then we are also frequently maintaining the website. So if you have any change to your cities, or if you're no longer a city organizers, if you want to pass it on to someone else, just send an email to us and we will update those information on our global website. And also exciting news is we are working with students from U of T to revisit and improve our global website in terms of the user interface and user experience. So maybe some of you have already be connected with the leads on this project, Celia and Alejandro, they are doing some user interview currently, and then we are hoping to have this improvement complete before the 20th anniversary. So that's exciting. And last but not least, we are hiring. That's also exciting news. We are looking for new members to join both locally in Toronto, but also globally and nationally in Canada and in other countries and other cities. And we have, if you're interested or if someone you know might be interested in joining us, please, you can share this link, this form with your friends. And we have also posted on our global website. So if you want to see more information, feel free to look at the global website. So that's for the website updates. We can go to the next slide, and I will pass it on to Cass.
Yeah, and thanks to Claire and Adam for leading a lot of this work, and other Adam in Calgary and Chrissy. We really appreciate it, and we really hope, to echo Claire, we can have more of not only national calls but global calls. A lot of folks often reach out to us regarding insurance, and so we are working on that again this year. There was a little bit of transition, as our trustee is an organization called Park People. I imagine most folks know about Park People. And so we're working with them quite closely to figure out insurance for 2026. The form we have is still open. It's from last year, but adding all your information into that form allows us to create insurance that we can provide to you. And I'm fingers crossed it'll happen sooner rather than later. But that is coming and we are working on it. So just kind of stay tuned and always email. I've dropped my email in the chat, but I'll drop it again. If you have any other questions about insurance, just always please reach out. But it is in process and it is coming. Do you want me to speak to the social media piece as well? I think
Yeah,
so.
sure.
Yes. So we haven't created a 2026 one, but for now, we do have a social media template package just to get some cohesion on when we're promoting across different platforms for Jane's Walk. And so if you do want access to that, we still have last year's, which you can use for now. I don't believe we'll be having any other updates, but if we do provide a 2026 version, we will let everybody know. It's just to help with standardizing all the graphics across all of the platforms nationally and globally, which is kind of nice to see that cohesion across all of us. But again, it's just a suggestion and it's just a support. Obviously, if anybody wants to use their own graphics while they're promoting any of their walks or their festivals, we encourage that as well. Often we're trying our best to reshare as many stories and images and videos as possible during the festival. So always tag us. And we have a few folks on our team who will be sharing and reposting as much as we can during the festival and leading up to the festival. If there's also anything that's happening, whether you have panels or other kind of programming, always tag us and we'll do our best to continue to recirculate as much as we can. And yeah, and also even sending photos, that's another thing. We love to collect any photos. So if you have capacity, of course, no pressure, but always share as much as you can with the committee and we'll do our best to reshare. And it also just helps us with building a case to support the steering committee so we can therefore support the global network and the national network. So that's kind of everything. Back to you, Claire.
Thanks, Cass. So another big thing is coming also soon, which is the 20th anniversary for Jane's Walk, and it's gonna be next year in 2027. So we have already started to think about the initiatives for next year's because this is a big milestone for Jane's Walk. We've been thinking about some like local initiatives in Toronto, but also want to reach out to you and connect with you about the global connections and think about ways that we can celebrate this anniversary across the country, but also across the world. If you have heard about it, we are also preparing a book for Jane's Walk, and our previous co-chair, Wes and Celia, has been leading on that. And I guess some of you have been also providing some insights and content for the book. So that one is coming along. But today we also want to bring up some initial ideas for global connections or like Canada-wide connections. And also we would like to hear from you guys, like if you have any great ideas or thoughts, feel free to drop it in the chat or just share it with us in this call. So there are some ideas that we've been thinking about. We also want to hear from you if you think those are great ideas or if you think you want to be part of those initiatives. So just sharing some thoughts here. We've been thinking there could be more like connections between different cities, either within Canada or across the continent. So this idea about Walk a James Walk Twin initiative is to pair cities, for example, within a country or within a region. For example, like we can pair some like Toronto, maybe with Montreal or with New York City, or even with Tokyo or Singapore. And then the two cities may have like a similar walk focused on a similar theme or scale or some topics that people find interesting, and they can be within the same time zone or across the different time zones. And we can share the twin stories, the twin walk through the online blog posts or some joint discussions, virtual discussions, or so that's one of the ideas about the twin walk. And the second one is more ambitious, I believe. We call it a 24-hour global James Walk rally, but it could be 20 hours or something else. But this is really looking at the global impact, and then we can probably have a continuous 24-hour live streams where we have different cities handing over to the other one, like for example, starting with like Auckland or Sydney, and then to Tokyo, and then to Delhi, and then Nairobi and London, back to the North American cities. That's really ambitious, but that's also one of the crazy ideas we've been thinking. And maybe each city can host a very short walk segment, and that can be like live streamed. So the third one, we feel like it's probably more feasible, and it's really matches our 20th anniversary theme, is the 20 cities, 20 intersections. So we can have like 20 cities in a group, and then they can share like one intersection in their city with like a theme or topic, for example, focused on mixed use or street life, like or informal social life, public life vitalities, eyes on the street, something related to James Watts and Jacob's ideas. And we can probably have it documented, or like there could be an exhibition of photographies or videos. And if we can get partnership with some art studios or galleries, we can have that exhibited in some place. So that's really kind of echoing the 20th anniversary theme. Yeah, so those are just some very initial thoughts we've been thinking, and we want to hear from you guys, like if you have any other good ideas, or if you're into one of them, feel free to let us know. I'm wondering if someone have any thought now they want to share, or if not, just feel free to drop it in the chat or follow up with emails.
I think this might be too big of an idea, but I would love a James Walk conference where the hosts from around the world could meet each other.
Yeah, I would also love that. Unfortunately, it's just
We
so
would
much.
all love that.
I think it would be awesome. I'm always just like, oh my God, we have so much money to raise. That's my first.
Yeah, it'd be cool if it was in Toronto, even for Canada. But yeah, I get it.
I mean, I would also love it to be in another province. Like I think for us too, we're always so conscious about not only being Toronto centric, but also like trying to make sure that other cities within the province and even the region like get more highlighted than Toronto. But it would be great to do it in a different province. I would love that. It's hard as a volunteer committee trying to make money to do the things. So yeah, one day, I hope. Maybe we can put it into the the atmosphere, and it'll come one
The
day.
25th anniversary will be here before we know it.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, any other thoughts from folks? We did structure this based on what we think we could do in terms of an all volunteer like capacity. So If anybody has any ideas or thoughts, please just let us know now or later. Sometimes ideas can come in, the middle of the night or some very random time of the day. So just always let us know if you have any ideas or thoughts or want to lead anything as well. Always happy to
Or
see.
even like a social media takeover. I know that's like a
Yes.
smaller one. Like that would be nice for, if you were to do the 24-hour one, have that takeover for each, like, even on the stories or whatever for the main Jane's Walk page.
Social media takeover is a good one, actually.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's why we are also hiring more members to support those initiatives. Right now, we are kind of a little bit out of capacities with the current members, and then we are hoping that with more team members joining, maybe we can have a conference or we can see what we can do.
I'm going to add that to the list.
But those are great ideas. So if folks don't have anything to share, I think this is the last page from the steering committee, and hand it back to you, Adam.
Awesome. Sounds great. Yeah, no, I love all three of those. I think the 24-hour global Jane's Walk relay would be super fun. I would just be glued to my phone for a lengthy amount of time, but sweet. So now we're about half an hour in here, and we wanted to leave the last 20 or so minutes just to have kind of a roundtable discussion about a couple topics. I'll give you a sneak peek at the kind of two different slides. First, we wanted to just talk about the tips, tricks, successes that you wanted to share with the Jane's Walk Network. Some example themes might be gaining more walk leaders, the best way for information sharing, advertising, promotions, some volunteer appreciation, any additional programming you've added to your festival. And then after we celebrate all of our successes, we'll go back here. Then we just wanted to chat about some of those common struggles or challenges that we could chat about. And then from there, we'll close it off with just opportunity to talk a bit more about how to best communicate with each other. I know we were trying to collect some emails and best contacts if there's ever times you want to reach out to a certain festival because you love the way they've got their website set up, or you love the way that they're doing social media and you wanted to connect. We want to talk about that as well. So to start off, either in the chat or you can unmute and chat. Would just love to hear in past years if you've had any tips, tricks, light bulb moments about leading a Jane's Walk festival in your city.
I can start. So my name's Sarah. I run the Jane's Walk Festival in Windsor in Essex County. We're in the most southern part of Canada. We're right at the tip of Ontario. And I've been running it since 2018 here. And we've really grown a lot in the last couple of years. This year we have about 70 events, a little less than 70 events. Last year, some big successes is we introduced Jane's Talks. That came out of, we do a participant survey every year. I encourage that. And that's a great way to get lots of good feedback. And we had a few people who said that they had some mobility issues and couldn't attend a walk. So that's where we started doing the talks. These are seated presentations. We do them in collaboration with wheelchair accessible spaces within the community. So we're going to have programming throughout the weekends that also will facilitate that. We also did registration for the first time last year. That just came out of having events with like 75 people and like way too many people coming, that we found that when we limited it to 25 people, that people were more engaged and it was a little bit easier to handle. My big concern right now is scaling up and how to maintain the quality while having more. And I would love to talk to some of the bigger festivals like, Toronto and Montreal and some of the, Calgary, to just hear what successes you guys have on making sure that when a festival gets bigger, it doesn't lose what makes it special.
I have a question for you, Sarah, actually. So are you managing all of the registrations or how are you managing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have, let me tell you, it's too much stuff, guys.
Yeah, I know.
So we do it through, we've done stuff on Eventbrite. That's not great. Right now we're on Wix, which is our website host. They have a also not great registration.
Mhm.
So last year, it worked okay, but we had to manually cancel when people couldn't come. We had to manually go in and cancel, and it was just a big pain. So this year we're working with a developer to kind of figure out that issue. But yes, it is like right now I'm right in the middle of it, which is we get first step is people send in very broad stroke submission, neighborhood, general topic. Then we kind of do a vetting process where our group met and went through those broad ideas. Then we sent everybody much more detailed forms that have exactly where are you starting, where are you stopping, da da da. And then we put that into Google Forms, get people to approve it through that and edit it, then it goes on our website. So it's a huge process, but it just makes sure that like everyone kind of knows what's up and has all the information. Also, a big thing that our festival does is all of our walks loop from the same spot. So they begin and end in the exact same spot. And that has been a huge success because we've had ones where it's like, okay, we've walked 1.5 kilometers and now let's walk 1.5 kilometers back. And it just throws off our schedule. So that's been we've done that for the last couple of years, but working with people, like it's basically 70 emails back and forth and maintaining those relationships. Yeah, and I work a normal full-time job too. So this is like, it's a lot, but we're getting through it and it will be great and it's a lot of fun. And we have a great volunteer committee, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of like emailing and relationship building and yeah. And our committee, we also do practice tours with people too. So we'll meet up with them a couple of weeks before the festival and go through it and workshop with them. We're doing a workshop. Sorry, I'm like rambling on everyone. But we're doing a storytelling workshop with a professional tour guide from Detroit who's been participating in our festival, and he's going to give a hour-long presentation to our volunteers about how to structure events. So we're finding ways to kind of bring in that and to like really build people up, because I don't want it to be everyone who's hosting it or people who are professionally giving tours anyway in their day jobs. I want everybody to host one. So that's why we really do put in a lot of work in like workshopping with people.
No, that's
Nice.
awesome, Sarah.
That's sweet. I'd be interested to know what didn't you like about Eventbrite, because that was going to be one of my tips and tricks, was that we have had great success with Eventbrite.
I find it hard, like maybe you have a solution to this, but I find it hard that it's like, basically you can't do CMS, or like I haven't figured out a way to do it where we have very set standards. So I have to make 70 different events rather than on our website, I can upload an Excel sheet that has everyone's information and then you're creating 70 different events. So that's the only thing, is like, it's inherent within our website. So it's like one-stop shop, which is
Right.
like if Eventbrite was a little bit better with having like an integration into the website, I think I'd be more into it. But it is still not, I've just not found the perfect thing yet.
Right. No, that makes sense.
But we've done Eventbrite when we've done fundraisers, and it's great, especially if like, but for a free event, I just find it it's not exactly what we need.
Gotcha. I think one of your questions kind of would be interesting to hear from the group in terms of, does anybody have experience, you said, scaling up while kind of maintaining a bit of the kind of like charm and kind of consistency within walks. Does anyone have kind of any thoughts on that?
I mean, I guess we could speak to a bit of scaling up or maintaining rather. And just because Sarah's joined the call, Sarah is my other co-chair. So Sarah, pipe in as well, because I see you dropping lots of good info in the chat. And also Adam, Claire, like I think because we're always trying to balance upscaling and what we can do based on our capacity. I mean, we're quite lucky in Toronto. I mean, we do a lot of fundraising and grant applications because we do pay for festival organizers, and then the steering committee supports obviously the global network, the national network, and builds a lot of tools and resources and manages a lot of that. Also echoing our frustration with Wix. We are also on Wix for our festival page and in the process of also auditing that and transitioning off of Wix too. So Sarah, I feel you with that, and a lot of the same things that Sarah is exploring, we've also considered. But yeah, I think it's a really interesting balance, not trying to lose the charm of Jane's Walk and making it too big that it extends our capacity. But I think some of the steering committee, we want to get bigger and think about if there's other, whether it's a municipality or another organization can kind of support us or take us on, or we're under a different type of trustee model. But we've been exploring it back and forth, but have no idea where we're going quite yet. And I'll pass it to Sarah if you have anything else you want to add.
Hi. Yes. I would just also like to add that we are also getting better at saying no to things that don't fit sort of our vision or what we're looking for the festival. Like, for an example, we had somebody approach us about like hiring a food truck for like our launch party, and we decided no, because we don't fundraise in order to pay for food trucks, right? That's not what we're about. So I think getting to a place where you're also comfortable being like, this is not what we want to do. This does not like, encompass our vision of what we want Jane's Walk to be, has also been hugely helpful for us. Being comfortable with saying like, we are primarily like a festival about dialogue and conversation and community, and the things that don't necessarily fit in with those buckets, we're okay to perhaps let another organization take those on, or find other partners that may want to do that work and then sort of like cross promote with them. But it's really, I think for us, what's been really successful is focusing on what we do well and passing on the things that we don't maybe do as well.
And I will, and Claire and Adam, please chime in too. I think also gauging what our team can do, like being really respectful as much as we can, being like, what's everybody's capacity and how much can they do and support, especially when we have fluctuating members. And so really trying to communicate as much as we can with each other as a team. And that really guides what we can push and what we can't push, rather than like maybe Sarah and I making an executive decision or something like that. So trying to be as communicative and open with the team, engaging where everybody is at, I think is a really key thing, and how to drive what we can do collectively, I guess.
I guess I just want to add to that question about registration and capacity, because I've been led walks before, and I've been doing the city organizers work, and now I'm doing the steering committee member work. So I find it's also depending on what type of walk and how the walk leaders want to design and plan for their walk. Because I find some walks in Toronto, they're probably in a large open space. They can accommodate more people, and maybe they have the mics or signage or more volunteers to support the walk, so they can have larger capacities. While some walks, they're mostly on a very narrow streets, or like the walk leaders would prefer to be a more focused group that can go deeper into the conversations, and they can have more intimate interactions. And I think the benefit of Jane's Walk is this is a very diverse platform that can provide opportunities to different kind of walks. So for me, when I'm leading a walking tour, I set up an Eventbrite link registration, but just to check the number of people who are going to show up, so I can plan for that. I know I'm not kind of giving it a cap, so like 25 or 30 people maximum, but I am trying to use these tools to get a rough estimate, so that I know I need to prepare for a mic or something else. I need to have more friends or people to support me for my walk, because there will be more people joining. So I guess that's my experience with kind of how we can plan for like a larger group of walk.
Hmm. Out of Yeah, and I think that's one of the challenges that we're always debating, and I'd be interested to hear if anyone's flip-flopping between the options of like capping registration versus not, because I think in relation to that question about like keeping the charm or the scale together, I think for us as we've scaled up some of the number of walks, um, it's helped spread out the audience a little bit more between all of the walks. So if we had some walks that were like overly attended, the more walks we got, the more it kind of helped even out the number of people going to each walk. So that's why one of the first questions that I was asking is like always the challenge of like how do we get more walk leaders? Because for me that actually helps a little bit with the scaling issue, because if you're getting more and more participants coming to walks but not the walk leaders, that's how you can kind of get some of those large groups. So interested to know if anyone has ever kind of reached out or cold called or gained any walks that might be on like a cool topic or an unexpected group that started leading walks for your festival.
I asked one of the councillors here to lead a
Mm,
walk that I'm friends with, and he took it. I had planned the route out, and I did it. Both the walks that we did last year were loops for the same kind of
mm,
reason we talked about. And he actually took it a different way. He said, "Can we deviate? Because there's something I really want to show everyone." And he highlighted a bit of infrastructure where the road had been designed with the creek in the middle, which is a
mm.
really unique piece of, and he wanted to highlight that. So that was kind of cool to get that insight. And that was just by asking, would you mind leading it? So just the
Yeah,
question is enough sometimes.
yeah. So yeah, city councilors is sweet. Anyone else have any times that they've reached out for someone to lead a walk?
We do a lot of outreach for walk leadership, like right now, whether it's like City of Toronto in different divisions, city planning last year, and Claire is part of that team, as she spoke about, led about 10, I think around 10 walks last year. So we do put some time into connecting with folks, depending on maybe like the theme of the year. And our partnerships are really trying, like for example, this year we're really trying to get more youth engagement because it had come up in previous conferences or conversations we've had about how to like increase youth engagement or how to increase our reach outside of Toronto. And so we try to, this year at least, we're trying to build those partnerships to get new leads to
Right.
kind of speak to maybe again voices that aren't as much at the forefront. And so we definitely have been trying to lead with that this year. And as kind of Sarah mentioned, like we are also trying to capacity build as much as we can. And so this year we're also trying to hold a bunch of like we say walk shops where we have, again, most of them are not within Toronto, but in the GTA. And hopefully with partners, hopefully trying to get more folks again, whether it be Scarborough or Brampton or North York, and deepen that engagement
Mm,
and keep it and make it more decentralized. So that's how we've kind of been going about recruiting more walk leads is through kind of this partnership model and then intersecting it with some capacity building so people can be confident about also leading walks. So that's what we've been trying this year.
yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah, we did our first walk shop last year and definitely gained a few new walks because people just kind of want to, if they've never toured people around before, they just kind of want that reassurance that Jane's Walk is open to everyone, which is kind of the great part about it. So yeah. Um, we can shift gears. We can still talk about, I mean, they kind of go hand in hand, some of the challenges and some of the solutions that might come along with them. Um, some example themes that come to mind for me is just kind of obviously the funding resources, fundraising, the accessibility topic came up in our discussion, and then capping registration versus not. For the accessibility, when in Calgary here, when we have people filling out a Google form to submit their walk, we have a full list of check boxes that include like unpaved surfaces, steep hills, stairs, and then we actually have a non-circular route. Like if it isn't a circular route, we want walk leaders to flag that. And then on our Eventbrite posting of that walk, we have underneath the walk description just a full list of like, here's the accessibility challenges involved in every walk. And yeah, that like pre-made list really helps us gather that information from walk leaders and helps them, walk leaders, also think about how accessible their walks are to other people. Oh yeah, I like the one start including whether a washroom is nearby, because yeah, there's some that are definitely not as maybe near those washrooms.
And I think it was originally from Ottawa, so thank you guys for starting to, or that's where I got the idea with the accessibility. And really, we've heard from participants how much they appreciate it, of like giving them the power to choose. That's really what it comes down to. Power to plan, power to choose, and you can figure out what works best for you. So that's been like one of the best feedbacks we've got, was doing that. So thank you to all the people who've started that before us.
Yeah.
I kind of want to bring up a challenge that I always think about when it comes to the walks as a sort of social experience for people, and something you kind of mentioned already about kind of get youth engagement, is the role that social media has to play in promoting the walks. I'm always kind of cautious about it because I wouldn't want to put up like a video of the walk on, say, TikTok, because I feel that that's kind of eroding. It's kind of almost like it's eroding the idea that you've got to get out there and socialize. And so I kind of wondered how other people feel about that, whether it's like in my head, or is that a good idea? Like, I'd love to hear people's thoughts on the kind of how much should you share of the experience on those platforms without kind of losing that charm, without making people almost like, it's almost like people will maybe like it, but then they might not show up for a walk because they're kind of getting the experience through their screen. You know what I mean? That's the kind of things I think about.
Yeah, interesting. Anybody have experience with kind of the social media aspect and best ways?
On an accessibility note, we've heard that people really do appreciate when stuff is shared online. During the pandemic was actually like a weird experimental time for us because we did live stream events. And, you know, we've heard from people that that was the only time they were really able to attend our festival, was because it was shared on social media too. So there's pros and cons, and there's ways to do it. I think people who want to come will always come.
Oh, yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
I would also like to add that this year we're really exploring the idea of digital walks. We're really leaning into a partnership with a local like youth design organization, and we're sort of trying to get more youth participation by helping them to think about walks in like cyberspace and digital spaces, and like you know, what does that look like? Is it like a photo walk? Is it a blog post? Is it like a live stream? And sort of that approach to it as well. I think, Sarah, your point about accessibility is really interesting. But also, the reason we wanted to explore this with youth is in our conversation, we had a lot of youth telling us like, oh, my life's not that interesting. I can't really go out anywhere. I have a curfew. I don't have a car, et cetera, et cetera. And so we thought this would be like a really neat way of getting youth to tell stories that are important to them in a different and perhaps more interesting medium, getting them interested in sort of these like initial concepts. And then maybe when they have the opportunity later on, then to sort of branch into like exploring more physical space. So I think your question is really, really interesting though. End of thought.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I'm just always thinking about, I think that's a good point actually, about a lot of youth do feel sort of trapped in their homes because of the built environment and so on. But I always worry the risk is then that if you if you do share too much, then you're not really solving that problem, I guess. I don't know. But it's always just something in the back of my mind that the kind of effect to the world we live in is things are becoming more online. There's so much content too.
Yeah.
And just we need to get out and meet face to face. We shouldn't be kind of, because it almost can trick your brain in a way to thinking you're being social, even though you're actually not, because it's just through a screen. And those are the kind of things I'm always thinking about. Maybe it's a bit too heavy for this round table.
And maybe
But,
it's posting after, right? Like you don't need to
yeah,
post
I did
during the
actually
festival,
do that.
then
That's
after.
true, and I did that's very true, because when I did our walks, I did do a write up on our blog that people liked, and I just shared photos and then write about it. So, yeah, that's kind of a different way, but yeah, that's true.
Maria, I saw had
Oh, I
hand
just
up
wanted to
there.
respond. So we use this cool website called Story Map. That might be useful for you, Sarah, that your crew might want to do. We post after the fact. We essentially just post like what the walk was. Like you can experience it after the fact. And it embeds everything. We don't post, we'll post like one picture of the people who attended the actual physical walk, but it is something that when people have mobility issues, they do tell us like, oh, that's really great. And it also helps us from year to year. So we just keep all the back maps. So sometimes a walk will end up crossing the same street, and you could be like, oh, if you want to know more about if you had gone left here, you could click here and go to this other map and learn more about that part. Um, I could, I don't think I have the permission to share my screen, do I? I could try. No.
Potentially not. I don't think
Okay,
so, but I could
that's
pull it
fine.
up here. It's just called Story Map.
No, but if you go on here, I'm gonna just plunk this into the chat. So
Sweet.
this is from our website, and it'll show you what we did last year. And it does, for me, I find it brings value to all the work and research that you end up putting into every walk. Like it allows it to continue to exist somewhere. So if you scroll down, you can see like every stop.
Very cool.
But obviously we post that after the fact because we'd rather people come in person.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. I actually know the person behind this project. I met with them a few years ago.
That leads Story Map, the
Yeah.
platform. Okay, sweet. Yeah, no, I love that. I've seen like Google My Maps as well allows you to create like kind of little pins with notes as well that I often tell groups to use as a tool to build walks, but then it makes it really easy to like share a link with some of the like notes and photos and stuff to even to walk participants after, which is sweet. Well, I'll go back to our thing here. We're getting close to time here, and I want to respect people's time at the hour. If people want to stick around past the hour here to keep chatting, feel free to do so. I'll probably hang around for another 5 or 10 if there's any other follow-up discussion. We did want to just mention kind of just the best ways to communicate, because obviously roundtables like this are always really great to just hear different experiences. There is a WhatsApp that I don't know how official the WhatsApp actually is, but or just in terms of like, is that the place we should be directing people? Steering committee is the WhatsApp?
Yeah, it's I
Okay.
mean, it's as official as we can be.
Yeah,
But
no, I love it.
it's how we communicate, honestly, as a steering committee. And
Yeah.
it's just more manageable than having a Facebook group at this point in time for all of us.
Yeah.
So I would say it's the best way to not only
Yeah.
engage like the steering committee, but just nationally, all of us having that like quick,
Yeah.
quick text ability. So that is
Sweet.
what we've been using. And if you definitely want to be on that, I'll drop our email in the chat and just let us know, and I can add you to the group chat if you have any other questions or want to connect from there.
Yeah. Sweet. So yeah, they can email just steering committee just with their number to be added to the chat there. Because yeah, I think there's think 22 members in Canada Janes Walk Festival currently, so always good to just be able to shoot some quick notes to people, as the festival approaches and there's little troubleshooting tips, then that's great. Any other? So yeah, as mentioned, we're at the hour here. Feel free to go on with your afternoon, but appreciate everyone joining today. And I know, for me, it's already March, which means April's coming, which means May is around the corner here. So any other final questions or thoughts? Feel free to put them in the chat or unmute, but if not, we will see everyone along the way.
Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone for joining this session. We will be sending out the deck and the meeting record after this call.
Sweet.
And looking forward to the festival in May.
Oh, actually, we usually get an email to the effect of like, you need to register here and we will build your website. Is that coming?
For the global website?
Yeah. Because I found mine, but I don't know who chose this picture. This is a random building.
Right,
for the city, the city sites.
Yes, the city sites. Yeah. Yes. So you need to swap the information, right?
Yes.
Yes. So then you can just email all of our website, nationally, globally. If you email us at contact@janeswalk.net, we can support you on that. I don't know.
Okay.
Who's on the global? I don't know which one of us is on the updating website piece right now, but generally one of us can pick it up and do it. It's just letting us know.
Okay, great.
And please send us the photo that you would like, because sometimes we just choose random photos.
Yeah, but I think it would be easier for me. I think it'd be easier for me to it'd be easier for you guys probably to go into it only one time and then update everything in one batch.
Yeah.
And send you bits and pieces, that would be
totally.
infuriating for sure.
There's a submission form, but I don't want to duplicate anything, so I'm just trying to think what the best way about that. Maybe just send us whatever the update is easy.
I can just wait for the submission form if that's going out. That's fine.
You know what? I would say actually, Maria, just email us directly.
Yes.
Yeah, you've already reached out.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay. Have a great day. Bye.
You too.
Bye. Well, thanks everyone. I do have to hop off. But well done. Thank you for organizing this call.
Thanks for joining, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know if anybody else has any questions who's left on the call, but we're here I can hang out for a couple more minutes. But Adam and Chris, I know Chris is gone, but good job, Adam. All Adams and Claire, everybody who did this behind the scenes.
Glad to have the opportunity to chat with everyone. That was great.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, I think we have some very good experience and insights.
Yeah.
Sweet. Nice. Well, enjoy the rest of your afternoons here.
Yeah.
We will be in touch.
All right.
Adam, do you need anything? Sorry, before we hop off.
No.
Oh, we forgot to take a photo. Damn.
Oh yeah.
That was the thing we needed to do.
We
Shoot.
should put that on the deck.
Yeah, shoot. Next time.
At least we record it.
That's true. You could take a screenshot, get everyone smiling at the same time.
Yeah, we can get something. Okay, we'll make it work with the recording. Adam, thank